Oh, they tell me go. You're alive. After almost 15 minutes trying to figure out this live, I got to tell you, every time I come on, something's different. Look, I holding my face so hard, I made a red mark. So frustrating. I just want to go on live. I want to press my restring. I want to go on and I want to record. They telling me this isn't supported, that's not supported, blah, 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 blah. Can't take it. Always changing everything. Can't keep it the same. In fact, that's one of the things that we were talking about. Not we, but I was on a webinar yesterday with Mary Smith, who she has the social media scoop group or whatever she does, and she's really fabulous, and she runs a wonderful group. And I saw her live, and she was having a talk about AI and how people are there's the feeling of overwhelm of all this information, and I need to know everything, and where is this information coming, and we're all getting blown in with all of this information about AI. And at the end of the day, the bottom line was to step back from all the noise, because you can't possibly understand it all at one time. So step back. Don't think you need to know it all, and just try and be authentic and yourself. So, always the theme I've been hearing from the social media and advertising and anything that you should do with your business and with presenting yourself is to be genuine. Be genuine, let people know you, like, know, and trust. Again, be authentic. So people are leery about the uh, AI images, and they're only, what did she say? That somebody had said that the AI is as stupid as it's going to be right now. And it's very stupid. They showed a picture of um, uh, Joe Biden, and they were putting look at his collar, look at his blemish, look at this. Well, he had like 500 fingers on his hands, but that's not what they pointed out. They pointed out everything else, because it can be hard to, like, you're easily fooled by what they tell you. Look over here. Well, if you don't listen to them and you do your own work, you could look over there and see that he had 500 fingers all discombobulated like sausages. So, forget about here and here and here. You look there where it's so obvious. So the key to social media and marketing is to be authentic. And also all of these platforms that will generate content for you. And it's not about uh, uh, it's about the content quality, not quantity. Okay, so it's about giving people, your audience, a clear message, a solid message, and not to repeat yourself and not to be overly boastful, and just to be authentic. So at the bottom of the line with AI and everything is just be authentic. So AI can only be so authentic, but it has its place in marketing. It has its place in generating ideas. I was watching something with AI in the medical field, and they were able to, based on past x-rays or tests or whatever, they were able to predict the outcome of what more than likely would happen to this person's disease or illness or whatever they were trying to fix, based on past information. So the analysis from AI was able to say that the future is, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and you need to do this to avoid it, and it works. So then I've heard of AI where we're using it for solving cases, right? And we have seen the what's organized crime, and they have this guy in there who specializes in AI, finding using the algorithms and the artificial intelligence to gather information, put it all together, and come up with a summation very quickly. So it's only as good as the information that we put into it. And right now, AI is learning, learning, learning. But at the end of the day, be authentic, be yourself. What was some of the stays? Um, yeah, with all the apps that are out there that you really need to just step back, not get overwhelmed, and just take a chill pill and let it see where it's going to go, and use the tools like ChatGPT, which I have found extremely helpful. It hasn't replaced anything, because even though it writes my content, I still go in and I have to edit it. It's not my voice. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't like the sentence. It's the wrong information. But at least it saved me the half hour of trying to come up with the content, the initial content. So it has its places, like I said. The next thing I wanted to talk about was I had done a seminar for the kitchen and bath design guidelines. And one of the people I was saying, maybe they misunderstood, but it's the microwave over the range. Now, we all know that when there's no place else to go and you really want a microwave, the most convenient, space saving place is above the range. It's above the cooktop. Number one, you can't put a microwave range over a professional cooktop, professional stove. A microwave range hood is only 30 inches wide. If you put it over a stove that's 36 inches wide, that's not proper design. Proper design says if you have a 30-inch range, you have the minimum of a 30-inch hood. 36-inch range, a 36-inch hood. Not a 30-inch hood with a 36-inch trim, but a 36-inch hood. When you want to go bigger on your hood is when you start getting involved with the pro ranges and the higher BTU burners, where it's really creating a lot of heat and a lot of smoke. So the reason you don't put a 30-inch microwave, even over a 30-inch pro range, is because it will burn out the motor because the heat is too high. So when you use the microwave over the range hood, it has to be a typical standard, not a pro range, not high BTUs range. Okay, just your typical GE, Gen Air, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, whatever, regular gas cooking surface, no power BTUs going up to 23,000 BTUs, which means BTUs means British thermal units. That's the temperature gauge. And you have to make sure that your cooktop coincides with the hood, so that the hood CFM, because all hoods are rated in CFM, which is the motor power, which is cubic feet per minute. How much air can it pull cubic feet per minute? So a 600 CFM, a 300 CFM, a microwave is only going to blow 150 CFM to 300 CFM. It's not going to give you a really high, powerful exhaust. There's two options with the microwave. It can go vented outside, or you can turn the motor and recirculate it inside. Okay, so it goes through a charcoal filter and it comes in, the vent, the heat comes back into the space. So there's two ways to vent that hood, either out or back in with a charcoal filter. So the next question became with the mounting height. How high should that microwave be, the bottom of the microwave be from the cooktop? Number one, any microwave that goes above the range is rated to go above the range. It has to get installed differently. It has a bracket against the wall that it has to get hooked onto to support it. And it has to be screwed in from the top cabinet and plugged in through the top cabinet. So typically the microwave has to have a cabinet minimally above it. And technically you should have a cabinet on the right and a cabinet on the left to offset the tension of the weight of that microwave pulling on the cabinet above it. So those are the things to consider when putting in your microwave hood. Now, when it comes to the bottom of that microwave hood, okay, that's where your vent is, that's where the exhaust is. I've seen them, the microwaves, they're going too high, in my opinion. You have to realize the door swings out and you're reaching up. And the thing that a microwave does is it heats things, it makes things hot. They could be, the cup will get hot, the pan will get hot. Maybe yes, maybe no. But the food inside is certainly hot. So you don't want to have to reach up too high to pull out the food from the oven above it. So think of it as where everything in the kitchen is always eye level. Okay, so the eye level is like 60 inches average, 60, 66 to say 40, 50. If I said 60, I'd say 54 to 66. So we're going to have that influx of that foot right there for the average people. So 55 inches, 60 inches is eye level. Okay, even if you do the 2020 and you pull the camera and you want to do your picture, it automatically sets it at 55 inches above the floor to give you your perspective view. So the bottom of the microwave has to be set at a certain height. So, someone said, no, it could be 24, the bottom of that microwave, 24. Absolutely. It says it. And I'm like, I don't think it says that anywhere. And I've been doing this a long time and I'm a pro. Know everything kitchen and bathroom. I don't do anything but kitchen and bathroom. I don't pick wallpaper. I don't pick furniture and fabric. I don't do it. So I know kitchens and bathrooms. So the microwave. So of course they got me thinking, and I'm like, I don't think that they're right about that height where it says 24 inches. So I went ahead and I looked at I looked at the microwave. And is this it? Yeah. So I looked at, I guess I have to open that window. Let me just minimize this. Oh, here we go. So this microwave hood, okay, here we have the dimensions of the microwave, the width of the microwave, the height of the microwave, and look at what it tells you that it needs to be. From the cooking surface to the bottom of the cabinet that it's going to be mounted on is typically 30 inches above the cooking surface. So that's the cabinet above it. You could see where it has the outlet. This is the cabinet above it. See, we have our and here's your mounting bracket goes here. The depth of this has to be anywhere from 12 to 24 inches. And the cabinet on the next to it has to also be 12 to 14 inches deep. What I say, 24? No, 12 to 14 inches deep, maximum. And you have it mounted to the cabinet above it. And it's 60 inches here. Now, if you take, 30 inches from the top of the cooktop. So if we do our math, technically what we'll do is, and here, see, it's going up and out. It can go up and back, or it can get recirculating in back, or they don't have it recirculating in. That's your ductwork. Okay, but it can be recirculated in. That's just, so it's an option. It's usually a kit, or you have to actually open up the hood and turn the vent and turn it in and get that charcoal filter kit. Okay, so if you take the 30 inches to the bottom here. Now let's do our math. We say our countertop is 36 inches high, right? So 36 inches high plus 30 inches means that this is hanging at 66 inches high. So that upper cabinet to the bottom of this upper cabinet is 66 inches. If I take the 66 inches, again, everything is with a calculator, people. I go, okay, 66 inches. My microwave is 16. So I have 66 inches. And I'm going to minus from my available space, right? I've got 66 available. I'm going to take away the 16 and a quarter. So it's minus 16.25 equals 49.75, 49.75. So then I go, well, how far is that from the countertop? Well, my countertop is 36 inches high. So now the bottom of the microwave is sitting at 49.75 inches above the finished floor. And now I'm going to minus, but now I have my countertop. So how high is the countertop? 36. Gives me a backsplash, right? 66 minus 16.25 minus 36 equals, it leaves me a backsplash of only 13 and let's see if I did that right. 66 minus 16.25 equals the 49.75 minus my 36 equals 13.75. So if I was to use the diagram as stated here, I'm going to end up with only a 13.75 backsplash. Backsplash height or counter height underneath that microwave. Okay. So they're telling you the minimum, also was on another one, that the minimum height that this could be from a cooking surface is like 2 inches. And you're like, no, that's ridiculous. See, it's 30 inches is a typical for 66 inches installation height. Exact dimensions may vary depending on the type of range or cooktop below. But still, if I do that math, and I go right back to the math, the bottom of that microwave is 66 inches. No, the top of the microwave is 66 inches off the floor. The microwave is 16.25. My countertop minus is 36 equals 13.75 inches. So this dimension from KitchenAid, okay, this is KitchenAid, microwave hood combo, is making you put this microwave way too low. Okay. My thing is, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Get back to my screen here. So my thing is, you cannot put the microwave bottom at only 13 inches off the floor, 13 inches above the cooktop, 13.75 above the cooktop. They might say that you could do that in the book, but that's not good design, right? What do we typically see it above the range? We usually see that microwave all at 18 inches above the cooktop. So to achieve 18 inches above the cooktop, I need to take my 36 inches, which is my countertop, plus I want to have at least 18 inches, plus the height of my microwave is 16.25. The height from the bottom of the floor should be 70.25. Okay, so what I'm saying is, oh, Where'd it go now? Here. The microwave is 18 to 21 inches above the cooking surface, right? That's where you want this to be. The microwave either 18 to 21 inches above the surface, not 24, because it's going to raise it too high. If I go to 24, it's going to bring it way up here like my regular standard hood, which you're not taking anything. Like if you had a regular gas cooktop, the minimum a hood should be from the cooking surface is 24 inches. Okay, it should be 24 inches. It could be up to 30 inches, and it could be all the way up to 36 inches, but you don't want it to be any higher than 36 inches, and you don't want it to be any lower than 18 inches. But my point of my discussion is that bottom of that microwave is never higher than 21 inches. That's to the bottom of the microwave. And that's for an average person of 5'4". So that's where your microwave should go. You can't even follow the specs from the manufacturer, because you could see by the math. And that's why we always have to get our calculator out, is to double check. And I double check my measurements 3 times, make sure I do that correctly, so that I have that proper height. And how we would determine that overall would be, if I have 90-inch high, I'm setting everything to 90 inch. Everybody's going tall. Let's go, I'm setting everything to 96 inches, right? And then I've got my crown. So my cabinets are going to be set at 96. I'm going to need to know what's the size of that cabinet above my microwave, because I want to get a microwave in there. So I say I have 96 inches, and I go, okay, it is 96 inches minus my countertop is 36 inches, minus I need 18 inches for my backsplash, minus the height of the microwave is 16.25, equals 25 and 3/4 are left over. So how that would relate to a cabinet would be either a custom cabinet, or I would go to a 24-inch high cabinet, which is a standard measurement, and that would give me the difference of 1.75 inches. So my 18-inch backsplash would be more like 19.25. So that's how you determine the height of the cabinet above it. It's a matter of subtraction. So it's always adding and subtracting to figure out the height of everything. But the moral of the story is, you don't pay attention to the manufacturers, because there was 2 manufacturers, and they all said to throw that microwave at 66 inches above the floor if it's a 16.25 inches high microwave. And some of them are taller. Some of them are 17 inches. Some of them are 16 in the front, and they angle back in the back. Some of the microwaves are even taller nowadays. It's not even a 16-inch high microwave. It's like an 18-inch high microwave. So can you imagine putting that up even higher? So when you have something that's 24 inches above the cooktop, it's too high to get stuff that's hot out. You have to be 6 foot for that to really make a big difference, because that would be 18 to 24 is 6 inches. So if I'm 5'4", you got to add 6 inches on that. That's 5'10", 6 foot. So it's too tall. So be careful of where you're speccing your microwave, and keep in mind an over-the-range microwave has the motor in it to vent the hood. Okay, it's not just a regular microwave over the range. It's a special microwave that goes over the range for ventilation. You can vent it up, you can vent it back, or you can recirculate it and vent it in. So that's important to keep a track of. I was going to talk about that, and then I was going to talk about the AI. Oh, and then I wanted to talk about gourmet food. Okay, so I'm watching television last night, and Anthony Bourdain. Love Anthony Bourdain. God, rest in peace, Anthony. You were so good. But he's going through in some of the country talking about their gourmet food. Okay, gourmet food. And they go, and the guy has all these different processes to, he has multiple steps to create his special dessert. Okay, he has to infuse it, he has to aerate it, he has to microwave it, and then he has to present it. So his little fancy little dessert is taking him time. It's looks great, looks so pretty, tastes delicious, right? Unbelievable, special. Then another thing was the wood. The wood that they use. You have to have good quality wood in order to smoke the food to get the flavor. So the wood that they use is more expensive. With a gourmet food, clothing, okay? Really good clothing. Really good clothing is going to have the finest wool, the finest silks. All wool is not the same. It's the way it's milled and the way they put it together and the way the yarns are and the way all the things with the wool and the fibers. You're going to have one type of wool and another type of wool, and one is going to be more expensive because it was a quick easy run, and the other one's going to be more expensive because it had to have more time, it had to have a special process, it had to have more better graining, whatever. It took more time and more everything. So the food, you're going to get that fancy food. You're not going to get that at Taco Bell. Taco Bell, you're going to get the stuff. It's there. You have your 5 minutes, 2 seconds. You pull up to the thing, you say a little thing, you drive to the window, and you leave. How does that relate to cabinetry? Very good. You're so clever, Alison, I swear. How do you come up with these things? I know, right? This is what I do when I watch TV at night. I think about these crazy things and come up with them. So they have to use the good wood. What happens to the good wood to get? They have to source it. They have to pay. It's going to cost more money. So people have no problem if they're splurging. They've got a special dinner. Okay, they're going out for their anniversary, right? When you're going to go out for your anniversary, you want to splurge. Maybe you've saved up something. Maybe it's a big special occasion or whatever. You saved your money and you want to be wowed. Okay, so you go to a wonderful restaurant. You're not driving through Taco Bell. You're not driving through, Wendy's or any kind of, Chipotle or, any kind of a chain Bonefish Grill. Okay, you're going to go to a nice place if you've saved your money and it's a big time, whatever. Doing a kitchen project is similar because it's a big to do. It's a big event. You're only going to do it once. That 25th wedding anniversary only comes around once. Okay. So the kitchen project is like that big 60th birthday party, that big 40th birthday party. Now, based on the budget, if you buy the good wood to smoke your pizza and to have a special flavor, you're going to pay more for that pizza than you would to the other pizza parlor that doesn't spend the money on that special wood and doesn't have that gourmet oven and isn't a 150-year-old oven and all that other stuff. So see how everything relates itself to cost, and people will pay more for the value of what a perceived value. And cabinetry, they just only visit this project once, maybe twice in their life. So they've never gone out to a gourmet restaurant. They've never gone out. They've never gotten fancy cabinets. They have no clue where to start. And they might get shocked to know that appetizer for their gourmet dinner is a $25 appetizer as opposed to a Bonefish Grill where it could be a $14 appetizer. So everything relates, the money relates to the end product, relates to what the client gets and to the client experience. if you're in a gourmet restaurant and you're paying top dollar, you're going to have the guys in the white suits. You're going to have the men. Majority of the high end restaurants, although that's changed over the decades, as always was male servers. A male servers like your Peter Luger and things like that. Here in New York, Brian Cooper, it's the male servers. That's just the industry the way it was, and not any much so more, but the way it was in the past. But so when you go for that experience, it's a whole experience. It's the decor, it's the waiter, it's the menu that you put in your hand, it's the tablecloth that goes on. It's when you buy that wool, gorgeous wool sweater, it's going to be wrapped in a box with tissue paper with maybe a ribbon around it because it's a $5,000 sweater. So it gets handled differently. So people will pay for the quality and the experience, but you have to deliver. So when someone wants that gourmet service, but they don't have the budget, they can't go to Peter Luger. They have to settle for Bonefish Grill. So thinking in cabinetry, your high-end custom cabinetry, like from Prevo or Play-Doh, or years ago it was Rut. Rut's no longer in business. When you had those high-end creme de la creme, craft made with a C, when you had those cabinetry, they don't come wrapped in shrink wrap and everything. They come blanket wrapped, like that bow. When it pulls up when a bow and you get into living room wrap and paper, you pull it out, so beautiful, right? Everything along the experience is the same with the high-end cabinets, the high-end everything, so that at the end time, not only was the experience wonderful and delicious, but the service and the presentation and everything was wonderful and beautiful and met their expectations. So to get that mindset of you'll spend that money on food, but will you spend that money on cabinetry that you're going to live in your house forever for 20 years? You want this to last? Because 20 years goes by in the blink of an eye. 20 years ago, I was 42. 20 years ago, I had a showroom in New Hyde Park, Williston Park on Hillside Avenue. 20 years ago, I had 10 clients going at one time. So in 20 years, goes like that. Here I am now. Can't believe it happened. 20 years ago, my daughter was 22. And no, 20, she was 20. Now she's going to be 40. Okay. So 20 years goes a long time. And that's really what you're selling your client, is the longevity of this product. And if you want to have that once in a lifetime experience, if they're going to scrimp because they don't have the funds, they're going to pay the price. If you can't afford the better suite in the hotel room because it's not in your budget, you're not going to get the same experience as you get in the regular room. So you'll be still getting the hotel, but you won't be getting the same experience. You'll still get your kitchen cabinets, but you won't get the same experience, the same quality, the same customer service, the same warranty. Everything that goes along with it from start to finish is completely different. So I find it very interesting how people have no problem. $300 for dinner, right? Here in New York, easy $200 for dinner. Go out for dinner. You want to go in the city? If you want to have dessert, oh my God, $250, $300, right? If you want to have a glass of wine, if you want to have a nice dinner, an appetizer, whatever, it's $200, $100 a person. People spend that all day long. And my experience is I ate and I left. But if I wanted to have a lasting experience, I'd need to spend $500. I'd need to have a longer, I'd need to have a better restaurant. It'd be better food. It would be gourmet. It would be this, it would be that. But the point is, if they don't spend the money, they're not going to get the product. And there's no two ways about it. There's just nothing you can do about it. And the client over and over and over and over again wants to skimp on product. And you have to tell them, you could scrimp now, but you're going to pay later. Because if you save the money on that kitchen that only comes with the 5-year warranty, because some kitchens only come with that, and something happens in 5 years, like the door hinge breaks, you can't replace it. You can't replace that hinge. You have to call up. You got to find that hinge. They might not even have it anymore. They might not make it anymore. You got to find it. As opposed to if it came with a lifetime warranty, because you paid more money, you would call up the company and say, "Hey, I've got my kitchen cabinet, and it is order number blah blah blah. I've had it for 15 years, and my hinge broke." "Oh, well, Mrs. Smith, let me send you out a hinge." That's the difference of spending $500 now or $500 later. Get the cheaper faucet. What's going to happen? The finish is going to start to wear. I don't care what faucet you have. The finish is going to go. Period. I have my Jado satin nickel faucet. Then throw it in the garbage. I've had Delta brush, brass plated, peeled all off, garbage. I've had cartridges, totally can't even get the cartridge out, got to throw it out. But when you have the good quality product, they send you the replacement faucet. They send you the replacement cartridge. They send you anything, because you've spent more money in the beginning and you've got more warranty. So the food, you spend more money for food. You want a better experience, you want a better product. If you want a better kitchen and you want a better product, you got to spend the money. You got to have the experience. You can't go to Taco Bell and get a Peter Luger steak. Okay? It's not going to happen. So the customer, even though they want to proceed by budget, and they go budget, 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 once you give them the price, don't ever negotiate the price. Okay? The price is not up for negotiation. If you tell the customer your kitchen is $42,000 in cabinetry, with the rollouts, with the crown molding, with the lighted cabinets, with the glass, with the knife insert, with the pop-up mixer lifter, with that kitchen, it's $42,000. If that customer says that price is too much, you don't ever say, "Let me see what I could do." You go, "Well, we can take out things." Okay, because the price is the price. I've given you the best price. This way you're honest, you're sincere, you're not negotiating price. The price is the price. Giving you the best price. I need to make a living. Oh, I need to pay my bills too, right? You need to pay your bills. They can't, you cannot always give low price. You'll go out of business. That's what happens. You got to keep your price. You got to make the client pay. You got to stick to your guns. So you tell them it's X amount of dollars. I'm like, "Well, it's just too much money. It's too much money. We could change the door style. A door can change the style if it's a solid panel door or a 1/4-inch panel door, if it's a raised panel or a flat panel, if it's a slab, changing the wood can change the color, that can change the price, changing the finish, if it's a painted finish, go to a stain, could change the price, or you can take things out. Like take out that glass cabinet. That's always what I say, the most expensive we put in. What are you willing to give up? Because you got to give up something. Do not give up your profit. Your profit equals longevity in business. If you give up your profit, you're going to run out of money and you're going to go out of business. So you got to maintain your profit margin. Okay. And that's where you get into your accountant and you start talking about your profit margin. So when the customer wants that Peter Luger steak and they have a Taco Bell budget, you have to set their expectations correctly and let them know you go in a drive-through, which means you're going to get the stock cabinets off the shelf. You can't do anything with it. You got to take what you get. These are the prices. This is the product line. That's your offering. That's it. That's all you can afford. Just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean you can't get a kitchen. It just means you get a different product, right? So there's always a really inexpensive product. But then again, it's the longevity of that product. So it's always a catch-22. So don't ever lower your price. Don't ever, 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 because that puts a sour taste in the customer's mouth that you tried to screw them on the price, and then they're going to want to challenge you on every single price that you give them in the future on anything. They're going to think, oh, all I have to do is say, that's too much money. Can you do better? That's too much money. Can you do better? You know, I always say, that's too much money. Can you do better? What's the worst that they can say to me? No, I can't do better. And that what's the worst that you could say to somebody if they say to you, can you do better? No, I can't do better. I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to choke you. I'm not going to not do your project. I'm going to say, no, I can't do any better. That's the best I can do for you. That's it. I want to give you what you can afford, what you could do, blah, 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 whatever you have to say. But the customers who want a nickel and dime, you could let them know, if you want a nickel and dime, it's like going to Peter Luger and nickel and dime your food. Okay, so you're not going to get that steak. You'll get a steak, but you won't get that steak. You want the porterhouse, you can't afford that one. You got to go for the sirloin or whatever it is. But the relation is the same. The concept is the same. The premise is the same. People can relate to food. They can relate to groceries. They can relate to their electric bill. They can relate to purchasing a car. They could relate to lawn care and house cleaning, but they can't relate to getting a kitchen done because it's an overwhelming project and they've more than likely never done it before. So having an educated designer to be able to educate your client is what you need to do. So to sum it up, don't poo-poo AI. There's a time and place for everything. It has its pros and cons like everything. And we all have fear of missing out. You're not missing out on anything. The AI is going to fine tune itself. There's a lot of product and development. I can't. Mary Smith named off 5 or 6 different AI apps, and I was like, "Holy crap! I don't even want to know about it." I mean, I know my friend Jenna has been doing AI for renderings, just to give us an idea of what it's like to use it to help create with interior design, giving the client somewhere to start. It's a tool. It's a tool, but it can never replace human beings. And remember, last but not least, the microwave is 18 inches from the cooktop to 21 inches to the cooktop. Okay. And don't go, and unfortunately, you can't use the specs that they give you, because if I followed the KitchenAid spec, as I showed you earlier, for installing that microwave, my microwave would have been way too low. So, and that's another thing, is these specs from the manufacturers leave a lot to be desired. I've seen a real downturn in appliance specification information in the last decade, and it's detrimental to our industry because we need those technical information details to be able to design properly. You know, a half inch here, quarter inch there, quarter inch here. You know, you got to know all these little technical details, because kitchen and bathroom design is interior architectural details. The kitchen and the bathroom are architectural rooms because they are considered a permanent feature of the home here in the United States. The kitchen is a permanent fixture. We don't take our cabinets and leave. The cabinets are attached to the wall. They become, once they are physically, permanently attached to the wall, they need the wall in order to function properly. That becomes an integral part of the building, therefore becoming a capital improvement. And if you were the company and you installed the cabinets, you have to keep that capital improvement for yourself, and the customer has to keep that capital improvement for their records. It's a paper here in the United States, a paper, the capital improvement form, showing that if the government ever decided to come and gave you a tax audit, you could say, well, I didn't charge that person tax because, you see, I have this capital improvement form attached to their physical order. And that's why we can't have everything always in the computer system. You need to have physical forms, physical paperwork to follow up your stuff, and be able to pull out that paperwork and show that to the government that, you know, yeah, I paid my taxes, they pay, and you have to pay your taxes on the cost, but whatever. That's a whole nother conversation about taxes. But it becomes a capital improvement. So they are technical drawings, construction documents, and we need the technical information. So find out as much as you can about appliance specs when you're doing things, and always double checking, getting out your calculator and doing your math. Kitchens, projects, every aspect in the kitchen has to do with adding and subtracting inches or centimeters, meters, whatever you use. Even in them, whatever you're doing is still the same. It's adding and subtracting. Adding and subtracting is universal, okay? Maybe the type of measurement you use is different, but you're adding and you're subtracting, and maybe dividing. But that's about it. We're not calculating angles, we're not doing major math, just adding and subtracting, width and height, okay? So always have your calculator handy. Okay, so that's what I had to talk to about today. Don't forget to check out the Kitchen and Bath Design Academy for free downloads, and keep an eye out for my upcoming on-demand CEU courses, all pertaining to kitchen and bath design for kitchen and bath designers, newer and intermediate designers looking to advance their career and be the best kitchen and bath designer they can be. Okay, great. Thank you, people, for watching. I hope everybody enjoyed my webinar or my seminar or my whatever the frig this is. And thank you so much. Peace out. Ciao for now.